These civilizations out in space are absolutely fed up with that. And let me be clear about this. This is a warning and it is a threat. If we stay on that path much longer, the dangers to peaceful civilizations out in space and other transdimensional space-based civilizations is that it is untenable. So we're at a crisis and we have to fix it. And the way we're going to fix it is to stand down completely those aggressive weapon systems. Now, one of the executive orders that I have recommended to the incoming president and the Congress is an immediate cessation of the use of those systems that target, bring down these craft through a forced effort as opposed to peaceful contact. So we need to take that sword and all those tools they have, but turn it into this plowshare of open, peaceful contact without the ulterior, selfish motive of let's steal and reverse engineer more of their tech. We've already done that. It's been done for 70, 80 years. We don't need to recreate that wheel. We need to disclose the technologies that already are existing, that are to be used peacefully, not the things that fly, but the energy generation. But we don't need to go from one legacy program to something that would be equally misguided and would be using technologies that are psi-related aggressively or in a way that is forced. There should be no more forced takeover of the craft, and there should be no more striking of them with any type of electromagnetic weapon. So that needs to be done by an executive order and a law passed through Congress, and then it has to be enforced. And the way it's going to be enforced are these special forces guys who've separated from the military are now ready to work under a law enforcement team in the United States, and there's another team being stood up that could operate overseas. So I'm involved with briefing them. Mm-hmm. And I'm involved in trying to get them up to speed, but they can't act. My friends, listen, we live purportedly in a democracy. They can't act unless the president and the Congress acts. And because then they would be unconstitutional and rogue, right? So, which they don't want to be. They want to operate under the rule of law and the rule of the Constitution. So we need to write our leaders and explain, please pass the executive orders that Dr. Greer has provided in the presidential briefing document and the briefing document for Congress. Soon, we're going to publish that entire document, except with certain redactions for sensitive reasons, that everyone listening and everyone in the world can read. And it will be a page turner. It's 310 or 20 pages, something like that.
Dr. Greer, I have a really important question for you. Yeah. So I guarantee you there's people listening to this right now who are hearing you say, you know, the ETs have drawn a red line in the sand, and if this goes much further, they're not going to put up with it, and they're going to come here and they're going to intervene. And the people hearing this are saying, oh, fantastic, finally, that's exactly what we want. That's what we've been waiting for. So we don't have to do anything. The ETs are going to come and solve it for us. So could you please explain why we really do not want this to happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that intervention externally by NHI is a worst case scenario, the very worst, because there are already predispositions in human nature to believe that would be a violent invasion, alien invasion. Go look at War of the Worlds. Go look at Independence Day. Those movies were, you know, basically showing what a sort of more frontal forced disclosure by the ETs would be interpreted as. But beyond that, the whole media, not to mention the UFO world, has already been predisposed to believe that, because beginning in the late 50s and early 60s, once we mastered gravity control and had our own ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles, reverse engineered man-made craft, and we started doing the stagecraft, as it's called, of mutilations and abductions, blowing up villages in Africa and South America, everything that we've disclosed about